By our beautiful, we'll start over again. Welcome everybody, and thank you for gathering by our beautiful state capitol to raise this freedom flag for the first federally approved Juneteenth holiday in our nation's history. And I'm honored to celebrate and commemorate Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day and Jubilee Day here in Colorado. I want to thank so many equity advocates, state agency leaders, Black Caucus leadership, Chair Representative Leslie Herrod, Vice Chair Rhonda Fields, Secretary Dominique Jackson, and all of the members of our General Assembly that are with us today for their amazing work for equity in this last legislative session. You know, on January 1st, 1863, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. And we need to remember that this landmark document did not end slavery for most African Americans. For 2.5 years after its signing, millions remained bound to a life of suffering in mind, in body, and spirit. It wasn't until June 19th, 1865, when Union soldiers arrived in Galveston, Texas, that news of freedom finally rang. A Colorado for all depends on the strength of all of our rights as individuals and building back every community even stronger than before. It means bringing down obstacles to economic opportunity. It means social justice. And I'm proud that here in Colorado we're building coalitions to grow broader and stronger every day. We were one of the first states in the country to pass sweeping police reforms with the passage of Senate Bill 217. We have a health equity response team, and we are going to have vaccine clinics at 3 different Juneteenth celebrations at 3 different cities across our state. We're setting a bold vision at the Department of Higher Education, hiring our first chief equity officer and using equity tools. We're launching efforts for equity in the outdoors with thanks to Senator Herrod, and a new program at OEDIT that uses marijuana cash tax funds to support entrepreneurs in pursuit of social equity. There are so many achievements, but we also know that we have a long way to go. And our work standing for the protection of all Coloradans against unfair treatment, unfair statutes, needs to be changed and is being changed through a series of reforms. And I stand before you today in both a celebratory and reflective spirit. Celebratory of how far we've come and reflective on how far we have to go. While our laws dictate that our legislature has to approve state holidays and there's no impact on state employees this year, certainly encourage the legislature to look at holidays next session. They worked to rename Mother Cabriti Day this year as a holiday to honor Italian Americans here in the state of Colorado. In our mind's eye, we envision fairness, justice, and equality for all. That is our North Star. And unshaken by those who seek to blind us to that vision, we persist. It is symbolic and I hope inspiring to many Coloradans who see the face of discrimination far too often that this flag of unity will fly here at our state capitol. And with that, I will welcome the president of Colorado's Black Caucus, Representative Leslie Herrod.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor Polis. First, I just want to thank you for your commitment to equity and to equality and to the Black Caucus. When you campaigned for office, you said that you were going to be responsive to our communities and our leaders in our communities. And quite frankly, you have delivered on that promise since day one. I want to thank you for that. I'm State Representative Leslie Herrod. I represent House District 8, which is in Central and Northeast Denver, a historic Black seat to acknowledge this historic day with Juneteenth finally becoming a federal holiday. I want to thank the many folks who have worked on this effort for so long, especially our elders in our communities who have not stopped the fight until this day has become a reality. And I think Governor Polis says it accurately. This is a day for celebration. You all know Denver has had one of the largest Juneteenth celebrations in the country for decades, right? Coming right through the heart of my district in 5 Points and going through Whittier, the east side, through Manual. That is who we are. We have always celebrated Juneteenth right here in Denver. But there is so much more work to do. I think with the acknowledgement of this federal holiday comes an acknowledgement of our time to really rise up and continue the fight for liberation that our ancestors fought so hard for. And even if we don't know it's coming, it is around the corner. That knock on the door is coming, and we will continue our efforts to liberate our people right here in Colorado. Just a year ago tomorrow, the governor didn't just raise a flag for Juneteenth. He signed Senate Bill 217 into law, historic police accountability for the #1 police accountability bill in the country. And he said, Representative Herrod, I want to sign it on Juneteenth to show that we're not just going to acknowledge a holiday with a tribute, but what we're going to do is change laws and policies that really impact Black people. And today, I'm proud to say, he's continuing on that effort. This year, we passed historic investments in the African American community we have never seen before. Our budget this year was focused on equity through every single department and every single distribution of funds. The governor highlighted some of those very important efforts, including in education, in healthcare, and yes, continuing on with criminal justice reform. But we've also been working on business and housing efforts as well. And the diversity of the Black Caucus, I think, shows you all the issues that we've been working on. The governor has made a commitment to continue on with his signing tour and ensuring that our bills are signed into law and that we have real impact on the people of Colorado, on Black people right here in Colorado. And so as we celebrate Juneteenth, and I see Mrs. Harris here, who's fought for Juneteenth forever and made Juneteenth a real holiday in Denver before the feds acknowledged it. They didn't need no law, right? Come on down to 5 Points and celebrate with us. But while we celebrate, we also have to commit to continuing to doing the work, right? Because until we're all free, none of us are, and we've got so much more work to do. So thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you, Governor, for this continued commitment to our community. We look forward to continuing the work. So thank you. Thanks, Governor.
We have an official proclamation for Juneteenth that I will read, and then we will hoist the flag. It's held up there by Representative Buckner. It says, whereas President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863, declaring slaves in Confederate territory free, paving the way for the passage of the 13th Amendment, which formally abolished slavery in the United States of America. Whereas on June 19th, 1865, 2.5 years after President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, Union soldiers led by General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, with the news that the enslaved were now free. Whereas Juneteenth is a commemoration of the day that former slaves received the news that they had finally been freed, the annual celebration, also known as Emancipation Day or Freedom Day or Jubilee Day, has been celebrated for 156 years across the country. And whereas Colorado is proud of our rich African American history and 67-year tradition of celebrating Juneteenth, whereas the annual Juneteenth celebration in Denver will take place in the historic 5 Points neighborhood on June 18th to 20th, 2021. Whereas today, June 18th, 2021, we raise the Juneteenth flag with an arc reflecting fresh opportunities and promising future for Black Americans. And whereas we raise the Juneteenth flag with a star, emblematic of the Lone Star State, where news of freedom rang last and long. Whereas we raise the Juneteenth flag over the golden dome of our great state's capital, and I direct the flag shall be shown at full staff until dusk, June 20th, 2021. Therefore I, Jared Polis, Governor of the State of Colorado, do hereby proclaim June 19th, 2021 as Juneteenth.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Governor.
Woo!
Appreciate it.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
The beads. What a good
I
touch
love
there.
it.
Yay.
Yay.
Isn't this great?
This is fantastic.
And we got the pride flag over
I
there
know, I
too,
saw
so
it.
yeah.
That's great.
Our capital's a very welcoming place.
It is. It is. Thank you so much, Governor. Hey, you guys want to get a group photo with the governor
Yeah.
before he goes?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi there.
Okay.
Let's get it by the flag.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go.
Thank you. Thank you. And anybody else who wants to jump in the photo, y'all are welcome to.
Good to see you.
Come
Oh
on.
man, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
It's the room.
Always
Okay, Janet, you might have the most pictures here.
Yeah, I'm good.
Showing up.
And we will share this picture, yes? Okay.
Share this photo, please.
Go.
Sorry, you guys. One more. Janet.
One more.
Oh,
Come on. Lean on me.
Come on.
Come on. I got you.
You're good.